Now, who said that the Northeast is not an attractive place to live? Look at this place today, Whitley Bay, sun splitting the rocks. Look at that lovely blue sea, no wind whatsoever. It's actually quite warm, and here I am, midway through the January transfer window, normally absolutely freezing, and I'm stood here with an ice cream in my hand down at Whitley Bay. Now, if anyone can guess what flavour of ice cream this is, leave it in the comments below. But here I am today, having an ice cream, enjoying what feels like early spring. And I've got some transfer news for you, because two players from two separate North East clubs, one of them Newcastle, and I think a transfer that might please some of you because it would bring in some much needed cash to the coffers. But two players set to leave the North East in the next couple of days for one MLS club. Now, who would want to leave the North East when it's like this in the winter? Find out in my video once I've eaten this ice cream. It's about 45 seconds since that last video. I've absolutely demolished that ice cream. Apologies if I've tantalised your taste buds with that, and I will give the answer as to what flavour of ice cream it was in my comments later, if you're into that sort of thing. But look at Whitley Bay today. I mean, the sun is going down now. What are we, about 3:30, 3:15? The sun's going down now here at the seaside. It's absolutely beautiful. I've got this fleece on, but I'm actually really, really warm. Beautiful day, beautiful winter afternoon, and it looks nice the next few days as well. So it makes a change for January, I must say. But I thought while I was here today, out with the dog, I thought I would just talk about the talking point transfer-wise with Newcastle, and not just Newcastle, Middlesbrough as well. As I said in my title of my YouTube video here and at the very start, one MLS club, and that is Atlanta United, are on the verge of a stunning swoop, as we understand it, for two players from the Northeast. One of them being Newcastle's Paraguayan winger Miguel Almiron, and the other is Middlesbrough striker Emmanuel Lath. Now, Almiron, we are told, is on the verge of agreeing an £8 million move to his former club, Atlanta, with additional add-ons taking it to around about £10.5 million should he reach those performance guidelines that he needs to. And Lath, a Middlesbrough striker, we are told Atlanta also trying to sign, despite the fact that they're deep in talks with Almiron, and they're trying to sign Lath for £18 million. So 18 plus 8 plus some add-ons, it's a 30 million swoop for two players from the Northeast. What would be interesting would be if they flew over there to the US together for their medicals. It sounds as though both of them are very, very close. Oh God, there's a dog going a bit crazy over there. A bike. It sounds as though they're pretty close. It'd be really interesting to see if both of them actually flew over there to the States together to finalise those moves. But look, the Almiron thing's been on off for a while to a number of clubs. I remember telling you guys in the summer that Newcastle had agreed a deal with a Saudi club just at the end of the PSR deadline at the end of June last year. I think they thought that they needed to lose Almiron as well as Yankuba Minteh and Elliot Anderson, but they ended up raising enough from the fees for Anderson and Minteh that meant that Almiron stayed. Almiron couldn't agree a move elsewhere. I can't remember the Saudi club at the time. It might actually have been Al Shabaab. And then, of course, FC Charlotte then came to the table, and he was close to going there as well. But I think he's found it difficult to agree personal terms. He's on decent wages at Newcastle, and for these clubs to match or better that at that stage of his career, 30 years old, it's pretty difficult to do so. That is why he's got quite down the line with a number of clubs and then not quite seen it over the line. But it feels very much, from what I'm hearing, that this one is close now, and that Almiron will move back to the MLS. What is interesting is their season doesn't begin till April, so you know he's got a few months until then. I think there's a chance that Newcastle might say, well, hang on, can we just keep him a little bit longer, whether that's beyond Saturday? I would be surprised if he's gone by Saturday. I think he'll probably still be involved. I think Eddie Howe would want him at his disposal, what with of course the injury to Harvey Barnes leaving him short in the winger department. And look, there is a chance that Newcastle might say, let's keep him until the end of the window, because obviously Atlanta can't use him right now, and they won't be able to use him until April. There's plenty of time until then, so it'll be interesting to see how that pans out. But that one on the verge, so too Emmanuel Latte-Lath. I think there was a feeling when Newcastle, the news broke yesterday that Newcastle were in for Almiron. I think there was a feeling that was instead of Latte-Lath. Our information is that Atlanta want to sign both players, which is pretty incredible. It's a lot of money for an MLS side. I mean, that 18 million alone for Latte-Lath will be an MLS transfer record, and then of course throw Almiron into the mix. It's an incredible piece of business for them. And look, it's bringing much needed money into the two North East clubs who Newcastle need it for, obviously for the PSR situation, and then to allow them to go out and sign Middlesbrough to bring in 18 million for a guy that they paid very little for 18 months ago is brilliant business for them. So you can see why both players are doing it. But as I said in my title earlier, why would you want to leave this place? Look at it, absolutely stunning today. I know we don't have too many days like this, but just quite ironic that the two of them are leaving here for America. Roasting hot Atlanta. I was there last summer as part of the Premier League series where of course Newcastle were playing. It was about 45 degrees. The humidity was off the scale. A far cry from here at the beach, and of course it's right inland in America as well, so it's red hot. But yeah, great opportunity for those two players. And I think for Miggy as well, he's kind of reached that stage where he's clearly out the picture under Eddie. He's getting fleeting appearances here and there. I mean, he came on last night for the last 15-20 minutes purely because Eddie was trying to rest Jacob Murphy, so too Isak and Gordon, so like kind of B team came on second half. The big question now for Newcastle will be, will they go out and spend? I mean, to get that 10 million in, 8 million in plus add-ons will definitely help, but they don't have a big window to work in. And as we know, the sort of character and player that Eddie Howe looks for, they're not 10 a penny, they don't come around all the time, so it won't be easy for them just to go out and splash. I've said previously someone like Daniel Malin would have been absolutely perfect at that price at £20 million, but obviously we know he's gone to Villa. I don't know whether Eddie rates him or not, but he certainly impressed me for Dortmund against Newcastle last season, and any time I've seen him for his national team Holland at the World Cup, or any time really, he's got an unbelievable record. But look, that one's gone now. But maybe Eddie has someone in mind to bring in. I mean, I would be surprised. I know it could happen. Others have reported that still unlikely Newcastle will add, but I think I'd be surprised if, especially with the injury to Harvey Barnes, I know it's only a month, but I'd be surprised if Newcastle don't try and add someone, because you take Almiron out the picture and then Barnes out the picture for the next month. We don't know what condition Wilson's going to be in when he comes back, and it leaves Newcastle a bit short should they get an injury to Gordon or Murphy on the right hand side. And look, you're in a really good position here where you could actually win something, you could qualify for the Champions League, and what you don't want is a little spate of injuries putting a spanner in the works. So let's see what happens. I certainly wouldn't write it off. And there is manoeuvre to do that. They still can go out and buy. It would probably mean that they do need to sell someone before the end of June. Maybe not a big name, but they may need to sell without putting any names to it, but someone that's going to be raking another 10-20 million pounds before the end of June. And they could do that. I think it would be an important time to add a player if you lose Almiron, just because I always think that, when you're doing well, it's a good time to add rather than just waiting until you're desperate. Add while you're doing well, while you're strong. Bring someone in who's going to add competition, and it makes the players who are doing well not rest on their laurels. I don't think that'll happen with the likes of Alexander Isak and Sandro Tonali and Bruno Guimaraes anyway, but it gives you options when you're doing well, and it gives the rest of the squad a boost, and it doesn't feel like you're acting out of desperation. So let's see what happens. But yeah, I thought I'd bring that news to you. I'm sure you've read it on socials as well, but it's our understanding at Sky Sports News that Almiron is on the verge of agreeing that £8 million move to MLS side Atlanta, where of course he formerly played, joined from Atlanta to Newcastle in 2019, so almost exactly 6 years ago. I still remember the day he arrived in his private jet and we went there and got those shots. Can't believe that was 6 years ago now. And he's set to be joined by Borough striker Emmanuel Latte-Lath in an £18 million deal, so a package that could eventually cost the MLS side 30 million for Almiron and Latte-Lath. Just shows that some good players around these northeast parts that other teams are interested in after all. So anyway guys, that's it from me today. Leave your comments below, whether it's on the Amaron situation, whether it's on the Latty Lath if you're interested, or if you just want to guess what flavour of ice cream I had. Anyway guys, nice to speak to you. Hope you enjoyed seeing, for those of you over in other parts of the world, I hope you enjoyed just seeing another part of the northeast on a beautiful, stunning day. There's the, you can probably see in the distance, the lighthouse, St Mary's Lighthouse away over there. Alright guys, cheers for now. See you in the next one.